And it doesn't seem Bombardier on this side of the border is feeling any of the cuts that the parent company is in Quebec. They obviously have announced thousands of layoffs, 7,000 layoffs. They turned to the Quebec government for a bailout of about $1 billion, asking Mr. Trudeau and Ottawa for a similar $1 billion bailout. Do you think they'll get it?
Well, let me just talk a little bit. This is a rail-focused operation here in Plattsburgh. Most of what has been cut in Canada has been the aircraft.
Aerospace.
Although about 3 weeks ago they got a significant order, and I think that may help them to turn that around. I think it's quite likely that they will get some additional stimulus from the federal government or additional loans. I don't know that it'll be $1 billion, but I think it'll be significant.
Sort of like the Canadian government gave the auto industry in 2009 in Ontario.
Exactly.
And you mentioned the aerospace division is the one that's been hardest hit. The CSeries, years behind schedule, billions in cost overruns, but off the ground now, and Air Canada announcing an order of 75 planes a few weeks ago, about a $4 billion order, and it looks as if other orders may be in line. So
I think once you make that first sale, you know, the second and third are a little easier.
Some of the other issues Mr. Trudeau campaigned on in Canada, one was legalizing marijuana. Is that an issue that is still at the forefront, or is that something that now that he's in power, haven't heard as much about?
I certainly have not seen anything in the media in Canada in the last several months. Once he got elected, it seemed to kind of float away, if you will. But that was not part of our conversations in D.C.
We talked about the Keystone XL pipeline. That's sort of on hold. Another huge pipeline would bring oil from Alberta to Ontario, Quebec, to refineries in Quebec and New Brunswick. Energy East, a 3,000-mile pipeline. Is he backing that? Is that something that's critical to Canada's economy?
He is, and of course they've run into some resistance from the native peoples in Canada because the pipeline crosses some of their lands. So it's gone a little more slowly, but I think they do see it as very important to be able to bring oil to the East Coast and to stimulate refinery utilization on this side of the country.
I know he's also run into some opposition. Montreal's mayor, Denis Coderre, questioning whether the benefits will outweigh the negatives when it comes to the pipeline.
And certainly, you know, we're always going to have those conversations. Again, I think when you go back to the way the Canadian system is structured, he has much greater ability to deliver with a majority government.
Has he taken a position on the oil trains? That's how much of the oil is being moved now. Of course, controversial after the Lac Mégantic disaster 3 years ago. A lot of that oil, of course, coming to the border and then down into northern New York. Is there a push for them to take a look at moving oil by rail and increasing the safety?
You know, clearly Canada acted more quickly than we did to deal with that issue, put in additional regulations. The process of the oil trains has really kind of fallen to the background. You know, it's kind of floating in the background. Now, in my office here in Plattsburgh, every day those trains go by my window probably 60 to 70 feet away. So I get reminded every day, but I think if you're not focused on that, it's not been a hot topic like it was a year and a half ago.